and by executive instrument imposed a curfew on Boko municipality and its environs in the Upper East region from 4 p.m. to 6 a.m. effective today, Wednesday, November 24, 2021.
There is also a ban on the wearing of smokes in the Boko township. In an interview with GBC News, the Upper East Regional PRO of the Ghana Police Service, ASP David Fiankwotri, and the Regional Minister, Mr. Stephen Yakubu, explained that the imposition of the two sanctions are as a result of threats of insecurity in the communities concerned.
There is a curfew in Boko starting from today 4 p.m. By security measures, from time to time, we gather intelligence. And when there is an anticipation or there is something we have to do to ensure that the law and order is maintained, we continue to do that. It does not necessarily have to do with a chaotic situation before we embark on such exercise. The policemen are on their feet in the whole Boko, embarking on the enforcement of the exercise. If we are not out between 4 and 6, after 6 o'clock, you can go back to your farm, work, and come back. You make sure you come in before it's 4 p.m.
There are security signs in the Boko Beach. So the Boko Beach, we have had peace for some time now, but Boko sometimes we have these kind of security issues. So we thought that it is important to be very proactive and therefore to impose a curfew and also to ban the wearing of smokes, because past experience shows that wearing of smoke, people can hide guns under the smoke and then on a motorbike go somewhere and cause mayhem and then run back to wherever they came from. And so we are trying very hard to be proactive this time around, and therefore we decided to impose these two restrictions on the citizens of Boko. It's not the first time that wearing of smoke has been banned.
Okay.
We are banning it this time around, and we want to see how it is, the effect that it's going to have in the peace of Boko. If we review it and we think that everything is okay, we will lift the ban.
President Akufo-Addo on Wednesday morning held bilateral talks with the Prime Minister of Denmark, Ms. Mette Frederiksen, at the Jubilee House in Accra. Their discussions centered on how Accra and Copenhagen can scale up trade, investment, and strengthening the already existing cooperation between the two countries. They also shared thoughts on the upcoming Africa Union and the European Union Summit in Brussels in February 2022.
It's 60 years since Accra established diplomatic relations with Copenhagen. Ghana and Denmark, from that period, have developed their relations at all fronts, including economy, political, trade, investment, health, sanitation, and security. The Dane authorities say Ghana is an important partner in West Africa and the broader region, so the visit of Prime Minister Ms. Mette Frederiksen to Accra is a catalyst to further strengthen relations with the African continent. So, on the discussion table between President Akufo-Addo and Ms. Mette Frederiksen were how Denmark can support Ghana and ECOWAS, especially to ward off the ever-increasing jihadist activities and piracy in the sub-region, maritime security, climate change, and COVID-19 management. President Akufo-Addo said the upcoming Africa Union and European Union Summit in 2022 must focus on how the European Union can support the fight against insurgency on the continent.
The nightmare in West Africa, of course, is the obvious one. A linkage between the pirates and the jihadists would put West Africa in flames. And we have to do everything possible to prevent that linkage. But these and the issues of growth, of economic relations between Europe and Africa, these are the things that are going to be on the table from our side in Brussels. And we expect that your government will take a very progressive position on many of the issues. We appreciate the world view that animates the work that you're doing in Denmark and within the European Union.
Ms. Mette Frederiksen said the Danish government will play a key role in tackling the underlying factors that have given rise to issues such as jihadist activities, piracy, migration and climate change, a development that is a major threat to the world.
The maritime security is a high priority for Denmark, and we are very happy for our cooperation and that we are in the Gulf of Guinea, of course. And we have a very big common interest in fighting unemployment in Africa. And I would suggest that that will also be a common topic for us when we meet in February in Brussels.
The two leaders also signed a letter of intent on zero emissions and shipping to help control emissions into the atmosphere. The Minister for Sanitation and Water Resources, Ms. Cecilia Dapar, and Denmark's ambassador to Ghana also signed a letter of intent on Agree Umbrella on Water Solutions, a Danish project to improve water supply in the country.
President Akufo-Addo has thrown a challenge to the reconstituted board of the National Development Planning Commission (NDPC) to carefully think up a system to improve on the country's revenue mobilization drive to create opportunity for all. He said Ghana's low tax to GDP ratio of 14% thwarts the country's ability to fund infrastructure development, and this says the president must be corrected.
The 7th National Development Planning Commission (NDPC) board has Professor George Janbafor as chair and Director General Dr. Kwejo Isiema-Brampa as a member. Other members are the Finance Minister, Minister for Health, Minister for Education, Minister for Environment, Science, Technology and Innovation, Minister for Employment and Labour Relations, Gender Minister, Trade Minister, Minister for Energy, Local Government Minister, Minister for Food and Agriculture, Government Statistician, and the Central Bank Governor. There are also representatives from all the country's 16 regions. The rest are from selected professional institutions, religious bodies, and the private sector. In the medium term, the desired result of the NDPC is successful coordination of the preparation, implementation, monitoring and evaluation of national policies and plans. When he swore in the board, President Akufo-Addo pointed at their pivotal role in national development, saying the members must be on the ball and develop processes for transformation.
I want to see results. Therefore, development planning must drive the following. A, agenda for building back better. B, agenda for youth development. C, agenda for entrepreneurial development. And D, ultimately, agenda for jobs.
He further challenged the team to come up with a workable plan to mobilize domestic revenue for development.
Ghana's tax to GDP ratio of 14.3% compares unfavorably with our peers in ECOWAS and the world over. Ghana, as the second largest economy in ECOWAS, should not have one of the lowest tax to GDP ratios in the community. The average for OECD countries is 34%. It is thus no surprise that the developed nations of the OECD can readily find the means to fund their own development, particularly their infrastructural development, whereas we are constantly struggling to do the same. The NDPC should have this issue as a special focus of inquiry.
The NDPC board chair, Professor George Janbafor, said his team is prepared to work hard to drive development.
Sir, it is our hope that your office will continue to assist the Commission to overcome its human resources, logistics, and infrastructure challenges to enable us effectively perform our functions as enshrined in Article 87(1) of the Constitution.
The NDPC's policy objectives are to ensure improved fiscal performance and sustainability, improve decentralized planning, and enhance capacity for policy formulation and coordination.
It is an annual international campaign to challenge violence against women and girls. The UNHCR describes gender-based violence as a serious violation of human rights and a life-threatening health and protection issue. Ghana's gender ministry is therefore part of the global call to action to mark the 16 days of activism against gender-based violence. The 2021 event will again highlight the need for gender equality and point out the millions of women and girls who are abused by their intimate partners.
Gender-based violence was declared a global shadow pandemic by the UN in 2020 after the World Health Organization declared COVID-19 a global pandemic in March. It remains one of the most widespread, persistent and devastating human rights violations of the world. From the UN's research and statistics, more than 1 in 3 women in the world has been abused in their lifetime. The vast majority of this is committed by their husbands or male partners. However, many of those goes unreported. Ghana recently has recorded a surge in gender-based violence. There have been reports of women who have been murdered by their partners. Other forms include sexual assault, acid attack, poisoning, unwanted sexual advances, child sexual abuse, forced marriage, human trafficking, female genital mutilation, as well as child marriage. The Chief Director at the Gender Ministry, Dr. Afisa Zakaria, said violence against women is a societal challenge.
Violence against women and girls is not justified and must not be tolerated no matter where, how, and who. We have established a crisis management and response center known as the Orange Support Center and a portal to engage the public and share information on ending child marriage in Ghana. The ministry, also with support from the UNFPA, has also trained 40 market executives as paralegal, because we believe that the courts alone cannot do this.
Activities for the celebration include media engagements, social media campaigns, football, sensitization programs at refugee camps by the UNHCR, and a walk from the Obra Sport to the Gender Ministry. The theme for the 2021 celebration is Orange the World, End Violence Against Women Now.
The Senior High School Placement Portal will be opened from Monday, the 29th November to Tuesday, 14th of December 2021. The 2 weeks process, according to the Ghana Education Service, is to allow for a smooth placement of qualified BECE candidates into the various senior high schools. Parents have therefore been advised to take keen interest in guiding their wards to choose the schools of their choice.
The Ghana Education Service, GES, is currently on a sensitization drive in the educational districts across the country to educate parents, teachers and students on the requirements of the school placement system for smooth placement. The head of public relations at the Ghana Education Service, Madam Cassandra Chum Ampofo, explained the rationale behind the annual routine.
We embark on this sensitization program to ensure that we have a smooth placement of qualified BEC candidates into the various senior high schools to get them to understand the new guidelines that we put up.
The Ghana Education Service has increased the number of school choices from 5 to 6.
We have added 139 technical schools from the 9 agencies. This new addition, they are also going to enjoy the free SHS.
She entreated parents to take keen interest in the secondary school choices of their children.
When we open the portal from the 29th of November to 14th December for the schools to be selected, they should guide their wards to select the schools that they want.
Madam Cassandra Chum Ampofo congratulated pupils who participated for good conduct exhibited at the just-ended BECE.
The launch of 73rd edition of the annual New Year School and Conference in Accra focused on COVID-19 and its effects on the economy and government interventions to mitigate the impact. The Minister for Finance, Mr. Ken Ofori-Atta, mentioned the government's 100 billion COVID-19 alleviation and revitalization of enterprises support program as one of the interventions to put the economy back on track.
The annual New Year School and Conference, the flagship program by the Institute of Continuing and Distance Education of the University of Ghana. It provides a platform for stakeholders in academics, administrators, politicians, technocrats and social workers to deliberate on issues of national interest, provide discourse and build consensus.
Remarkable about this year's school is that we want to precede it with a preschool event, and then when the two-day full business is done, we'll also wind it up with a post-school event. And critical also on the schedule of this year's school, as we did 2 years back, is the youth school as a big side attraction. We have realized that if you want to dialogue, the future of the country is the youth.
This year's program is focusing on COVID-19 and the socio-economic dynamics in the country. A COVID-19 business tracker survey conducted by the Ghana Statistical Services in collaboration with the UNDP and the World Bank showed that over 700,000 workers had their wages reduced and about 42,000 employees were laid off during the country's partial lockdown. Due to socio-economic impact of the pandemic, government introduced interventions to cushion businesses and save the economy. The Ghana Cares Obatampa initiative is one of the interventions.
The COVID situation gives us to reimagine our future and have that common humanity of care to be able to do that. So even as we speak about the issues of e-levy, which is on everybody's mind, we should ask ourselves that with the 3 issues of youth unemployment, some 10 million people around the country, with the issue of where we are at our debt levels, and with the issue of road infrastructure, what is it that we are going to do to burden share?
Participants at this year's 73rd New Year School will, among other things, explore the benefits of the Obatampa initiative as well as emerging technologies in healthcare delivery during the pandemic.
A nation that does not honor its heroes is not worth dying for, so goes the saying. In today's Tour Ghana series, we will walk you through the African Ancestral Wall at New Ningo in the Greater Accra region. The African Ancestral Wall is an open-air wall gallery of portraits of heroes and heroines who fought for the emancipation of Africa. It's a lesson in history about some of our Ghanaian heroes.
The African Ancestral Wall at New Ningo are not too far from the southern end of the Atlantic Ocean. This open-air gallery holds paintings of heroes and heroines who stand tall on the list of those whose toil brought about black emancipation and progress. The wall captures 92 portraits of courageous luminaries and dates back some 200,000 years ago. From the days of Eve to Francis Cress Wilson, from Dr. Kwame Nkrumah to King Takitaria, from Nagbewa to Thomas Sankara, from Miriam Makeba to Steve Biko, and Shaka Zulu to Dr. Yusuf Ben Jukanan. Other great Ghanaian leaders, including Opokuwari, Osei Tutu, Yasantua, Togbisri, Sergeant Ajete, Apoka Karinyani, and Efremamu are also captured. The founder of the African Ancestral Wall is Mr. Jerry Johnson, a teacher and cultural entrepreneur from California, USA. Mr. Johnson says this dream started as a desire to teach young people within the Ningo Prampram catchment area about African history some 17 years ago. He explains that lack of logistics hindered his efforts, so he decided to put paintings of courageous luminaries whose perseverance led to black emancipation and progress on this wall for the edification of visitors and students. And this is free of charge.
Our attempts to get our children to understand their history, culture, and most of all to understand their potential. The best way to understand your potential, we believe, is to know what you have done and know what your ancestors have done. A lot of this has been whitewashed or blackwashed out of our curriculum and out of the media, but it's our responsibility as African adults to bring it to the fore, to make sure our children understand it, and also to make sure they know they're able to repeat it.
Several artists used their skills to paint an outside gallery for students, visitors, and locals alike. This project, originally meant to educate the people of New Ningo about Africa's past, now attracts people from various parts of the country and the world.
We chose the characters or the ancestors in the paintings based on what we wanted, what attributes we wanted to emphasize with the children. So basically I took a long list of attributes: courage, leadership, brilliance, all of these things, and really found Africans throughout history and mapped them back to those characteristics. So when I talk to the children, I have a specific thing for each character, whether it is the very beginning of the human species, or whether it is one of our great colonial fighters or one of our great empire leaders from long ago. But I just want to make sure that the children know of this kind of accomplishment.
Selected students from schools in Pram Pram role-played the ancestors as they walk the visitors through the wall.
Malaika, malaika, ingakuwa maliwe, ingakuwa mama tata. Nashinda malizi nawe ingakuwa malaika. You see, this is what you know about me. But today I'm here to tell you much more about myself. My name is Maria Makiba. I was born in Johannesburg, South Africa in 1932. I spent the first 2 weeks of my life in jail because my mom tried to earn money out of selling drinks made out of corn and malt. As a result, I spent the first 6 months of my life in jail. My father died when I was only 6, so we were very poor. As I grew up, there was a system called apartheid. Apartheid meant we blacks native to this land couldn't go to certain schools, travel on certain roads, and even go to certain toilets.
The Association of Magistrates and Judges has refuted speculations on some social media platforms that a justice of the Supreme Court, Justice Clemens Onyenuga, has been given 2 brand new vehicles by President Akufo-Addo through the Chief Justice to influence his decision in the trial of the former boss of Cocoa Board, Dr. Stephen Opuni. The president of the association, Justice Henry Kofi, said the allegations are untrue and only meant to ruin the reputation of the judge hearing the case, the Chief Justice, the judiciary, and President Akufo-Addo.
We find this allegation as an attempt to create disaffection against the said judge and by extension the judiciary as a whole, and we have found it necessary to set the record straight as follows. By the nature and terms of their appointments, all Supreme Court judges once appointed are entitled since 2013 to 2 official vehicles, 1 SUV and a Salunga. Judges of the Court of Appeal are entitled to 1 Toyota Land Cruiser Prado. You see that they are greats. While High Court judges are entitled to a Toyota Fortuner vehicle as official. These are official duty post vehicles. This year, 2021, the Judicial Service ordered 7 Toyota Land Cruiser vehicles and 11 Toyota Camry cars for Supreme Court judges who do not have official vehicles. These Supreme Court judges, that is the 7, were appointed in December 2019 and May 2020, respectively.
Still at the court, the state says it will be presenting 6 prosecution witnesses to testify in a trial of 2 persons accused of murdering 2 police officers of the Kaswa Motor Transport and Traffic Department of the Ghana Police Service. The accused persons, Mr. Eric Kojodia and Mr. Michael Safo Enim, are alleged to have chased and shot at the late Lance Corporal Awal Mohammed and Group Sergeant Michael Jameshi, who were on traffic duties on August 28, 2019, after the officers attempted to arrest the 2 for flouting road traffic rules. In court on Wednesday, State Attorney Nanama Prempeh said the 2 accused persons, Mr. Eric Kojodia, also known as Sakura, and Michael Safo Enim, gruesomely killed the 2 police officers, Lance Corporal Awal Mohammed and Group Sergeant Michael Jameshi, in the open and in the presence of many witnesses. According to the state attorney, the 2 accused persons have been charged with 4 counts of murder and abetment, contrary to the provisions of the Criminal Offences Act 1960. She told the court the autopsy report showed that the 2 officers died as a result of complications from the shooting. She said the state will prove beyond reasonable doubt that the accused persons murdered officers Lance Corporal Awal Mohammed and Group Sergeant Michael Jameshi. Mr. Augustine Obo, lawyer for Eric Kojodia, in his opening statement, wondered why the prosecution in their opening statement did not mention what may have triggered his client to shoot at the officers, and said it sounded completely abnormal that the accused person, Mr. Eric Kojodia, will just pull a gun and shoot at 2 policemen. He urged a 7-member jury to thoroughly look into the testimonies of all witnesses who will give evidence before the court in the matter. Mr. Isaac Ochikuma, lawyer for the second accused person, Mr. Michael Safo Enim, prayed the jury to be guided by Section 19, Clause 2C of the 1992 Constitution, which presumes all accused persons innocent until proven otherwise. The trial judge, Justice Alfreda Dinchi, asked the prosecution to file its disclosures and witness statements before the next adjourned date, which is December 8, 2021. You're still watching News Hour live on GBC News, your news and governance channel. We take a break. We'll be back with more news. Please stay.
2021, the journey to us.
You're welcome to the business segment brought to you by MTN. MTN is everywhere you go, and Whirlpool. The World Bank has launched its 2021 Ghana Country Economic Memorandum, urging the government to leverage on digital technologies to boost productivity and create new job opportunities. The report highlighted the need to deepen access to long-term capital and ensure macroeconomic stability to spur private sector growth.
The World Bank's latest Ghana economic analysis highlights the potential of digital technologies in driving economic growth. The report urges more investment in digital infrastructure and the promotion of digitalization in the small and medium-sized enterprise sector. The bank said this will help lay the foundation for the adoption of more advanced industry technologies to ramp up productivity and create more decent jobs. However, to help achieve that, the report implores the government to enhance access to financing to the SME sector.
The report discusses two critical enablers of growth, the first being access to financing for enterprises and macroeconomic stability. For the private sector to thrive, it is key that it can access financing under good conditions. Macroeconomic stability not only helps lower interest rates, but also provides the confidence economic actors and investors need to thrive.
The Minister for Finance, Mr. Kenneth Furiata, said the creation of the Development Bank will help viable businesses to access patient capital to expand and create jobs.
To accelerate Ghana's economic growth and address the country's high youth unemployment rate, government, among other interventions, is implementing the 100 billion Ghana COVID-19 alleviation and revitalization of enterprises support program, Ghana Cares Over Tampa program. The primary focus of the program is to empower the private sector to become the real engine for job creation in the country. The program is to expand manufacturing and export capacity in line with government's 10-point industrialization agenda to ensure rapid competitive import substitution, expanded capacity for agro-processing, increased exports, job creation, and industrialization.
The report urged the government to ensure fiscal stability, improve debt management and transparency in the extractive sector to transform the economy.
A Christmas package valid until February 2022, Vodafone Ghana is rewarding its customers with exciting cash prizes, data and talk time worth 2 million Ghana cedis. All you need to do is to continue recharging airtime or buy data bundles via Vodafone Cash, and the award is yours for the taking. The Vodafone Kosu promo is a novelty in rewarding and reward campaigns organized by telecom companies in Ghana. Customers would not have to sign up, neither will there be a draw.
Throughout this Christmas season and beyond, Ghana's second largest telecommunications company, Vodafone Ghana, will be rewarding customers with exciting cash prizes, data and talk time worth 2 million Ghana cedis in all. The Kosu promotion is the company's new promise to customers. Kosu is a coin-based consumer promo where customers can earn red coins when they recharge airtime with a scratch card and via electronic means or buy data via Vodafone Cash. These coins can be redeemed for awesome rewards in the form of minutes of voice calls, data or cash. This means the customer will earn 20 red coins for a 2 Ghana cedi recharge. However, customers who recharge using digital platforms will get double the coin allocation when they recharge via electronic means, which are digital platforms, third-party apps and credit transfers. 1,000 coins will be up for grabs by any customer who recharges an account with 50 Ghana cedis through Vodafone Cash.
What makes the promo unique is that, as I said, the customer does not have to subscribe. From today, every customer, once you dial *533#, you see the coins that you have, and every consumer, as of now, so far as you have recharged over the last 1 month, you have coins. So a customer can even redeem today, as we speak. Just dial *533# or go on my Vodafone app, and you can redeem airtime, data, or cash today. This has never happened. There's no barrier a customer has to hit to enjoy this promo. Open to everybody. So all our consumers out there, No stress, just pick up your phones and enjoy our rewards.
Over the years, Vodafone Ghana has remained dedicated to creating a unique, unrivaled and unparalleled customer experience in Ghana. The Ekosu promo.
Still in business, what started off as a hunger support initiative for inmates at the James Camp Prison at Region Accra in 2020 during the outbreak of the coronavirus has now developed into full-fledged 6th agricultural development project for prisons. The program, which forms part of Cosmos Energy's Hunger Relief Project, aims at supporting inmates to develop hands-on skills in agricultural business and make the prison community self-sufficient in vegetables, snails and mushrooms.
Cosmos Energy, a global deep water exploration and production company, realized the need to identify economies and communities in their host countries severely hit by the impacts of the COVID-19 and provide support in diverse ways. Universal issues across communities identified with hunger, food insecurity, and the disruption of food supply chains. The introduction of Cosmos Energy's Hunger Relief Project is a long-term mechanism to bridge the gap. Prison officers and inmates at the James Camp Prison have immensely benefited from this initiative as Cosmos Energy officially commissions an irrigated vegetable farm, a snail hub, a mushroom center, and other agric-intensive projects in Accra.
They have been harvesting and then they have been feeding folks and then also selling to generate revenue. The ones here, the director said that they have already broken even what they have invested in it in a very short period of time. And we plan to also be here, for the next 6 months to continue to be able to become, thought leadership, skills that we can share. If they are doing something that's out of line, we try to make sure that they get back online. So all in all, we want this thing to be very sustainable over a long period of time. We have trained about 105 people on the mushroom, and then about 98 in the snailing, and then 95 in the irrigation. So close to about 300 people that we've trained. So that is going to be sustainable over a long period of time.
An Assistant Director of Prisons, Madam Millicent Owusu, said maintenance is key to ensuring the projects achieve its intended goal.
We have a management team. We have senior officers supervising it. We have readily embraced it, and we are going to see to it that we will be able to sustain it.
Cosmos Energy has also donated approximately $50,000 in food items to families and other correctional facilities across the country. In other developments, Cosmos Energy says its production levels in Ghana is gradually snowballing and plans to invest about $4.2 billion in the next 10 years into Ghana's upstream.
The business segment was brought to you by Whirlpool and MTN. MTN is everywhere you go. The energy segment is next.
You are live on News Hour. Welcome to the Energy segment. I'm Dominic Honoji. At a policy dialogue on premise fuel in Accra, stakeholders concluded that automating the premise fuel transportation system with a proposed automated fuel dispensing and monitoring system will prevent hoarding and diversion.
The dialogue was organized by the Africa Center for Energy Policy, ACEP, to launch a conversation on transparency and to find a lasting solution to issues in the premixed fuel supply value chain. The administrator of the Secretariat, Nana Abrokwa Sari, said the Secretariat expects sanity in the premixed transportation system when it is finally automated.
To be able to solve the problem, when fishermen are given a card, most of these middlemen will be taken off the system. Currently, it's an open access. Anybody can walk to any landing beach and claim he's a fisherman and then buys the premixed fuel and then uses it to do other things. So the digitization is the way. Automation is the way.
There were concerns over possible future infractions, even with the introduction of the digitized system, which they challenged implementing authorities to be proactive with. The chief fisherman for Tema, Ni Odamete II, said automating the system will bring efficiency in the sector. He was concerned about hoarding and diversion.
My last warning goes to the middlemen. If you come to my land with Tema, they are there a lot. So this warning goes to them.
There are allegations that pre-mixed fuel gets into wrongful hands, such as Okada riders, chainsaw operators, among others. More than 10 years ago, the government set up the National Premixed Fuel Secretariat to manage deficiencies in the subsector. Currently, authorities are putting measures in place to pilot the project at 50 landing beaches, apart from Nungwa and Elmina, after which they will be implemented at the over 300 landing sites.
The health segment is brought to you by Lufat from Tobinco. The head of public relations at the Ghana Education Service, Mrs. Cassandra Chum Ampofo, says the Ghana Education Service will collaborate with the Ghana Health Service to administer the COVID-19 vaccines to the students across the country. Plans are afoot by the Ghana Health Service to give COVID-19 vaccinations to students who are 15 years in the country.
We sent a letter to our regional directors to inform them that the Ghana Health Service have gotten approval to vaccinate our 15-year-old students in the schools. And so right now we have started another sensitization for the students, teachers, and then parents to also understand the need for the vaccine. And so that is what we have started doing. And we would have to finish the sensitization before the actual vaccination exercise would begin. Well, you know, even we as adults with the vaccine, some have still not taken the shot. And so we have given out consent forms. And so those parents that will sign the consent form and give them the permission for their wards to get the vaccine, they will go ahead. But if they do not want their wards to take the vaccine, of course, there's a health issue. You can't, force somebody to take something that he or she doesn't want.
It was brought to you by Lufat. Lufat is from Tobinco.